Yo and jazz ladies out there, this is your boy Satchel Armstrong, broadcasting live from the cabaret in the sky. And when I'm not busy doing my soloing on my two horn, I just tune into the artivist presents We All Be News and Radio. Oh, yeah.
And welcome back, family, to another wonderful edutainment and empowering edition of the Artist Presents We All Be News and Radio. I'm your host for this segment, Brother Ron, also known as R2, C2H2 the Artivist, and I'm glad to be back with you all on this holiday weekend or holiday weekend, whatever you want to look at it, in the wilderness of Hell America or America or whatever you want to call it. Please feel free to join us. It's a very important show. Please feel free to join us. Call-in number is area code 646-652-4593. That's area code 646-652-4593. If you're scared to go on the air, we have the chat room open. And feel free to share your thoughts, perspectives, and even questions for our guests or people calling in. And we'll try to address as many as we can. So now we see in this day and age why it's very important to have a real strong black media in this day and age. Because back in the 60s and the 50s and the 40s, they actually had a thing called the race beat. We had like the black media covering issues that affected black Americans in a system of apartheid or white supremacy, Jim Crow racism. If it wasn't for the John H. Johnson of Ebony and Jet of Johnson Publishing Company, we would have never probably known about Emmett Till. It was the black press that broke the story about Emmett Till. Okay, so they actually galvanized the movement. If you can recall, Rosa Parks, when she was sitting down in her seat, she said she was actually thinking about what happened to Emmett Till because days before, in November of that year when the boycott happened, Dr. Howard, I think Dr. T. Howard, I hope I got his name right, but he was the wealthiest black man in Mississippi. And Dr. T.I.M. Howard was the wealthiest black man in Mississippi. And he was a well-known civil rights leader in the state. And I believe he spoke at the church, I think it was Dexter Avenue, back on November 27, please forgive me, I believe, November 27, 1955. He spoke about the Emmett Till situation in Mississippi. He was the reason why we knew about it as well. He actually hired a private investigator into what happened to inquire about what happened about Emmett Till. And, he actually blasted J. Edgar Hoover, FBI, about not really being proactive in trying to solve the case and get up evidence. And Mamie Till, when she went down for the trial, she stayed at his home in Mound Bayou. He had 24-hour security, around-the-clock armed security. So Dr. T.M. Howard was the wealthiest black man in Mississippi. He had a doctor's practice in Mound Bayou, Mississippi, one of the oldest black towns in the country. He actually established the first swimming pool for black people in Mississippi. Had his own zoo, restaurants, and everything. He was a really extraordinary person. He helped start the Regional Council of Negro Leadership, which at his annual events would be about 10,000 black people coming out around the Delta to attend these events. And you have people like Adam Clayton Powell Jr. or Charles Diggs, the congressman from Chicago, speaking to the crowd. And even Thurgood Marshall will come sometimes to speak to the crowd about the importance of registering to vote. And also the entertainment would include people like Mahalia Jackson. So there was a big annual event. About 10,000, 15,000 black folks come out to Mound Bayou to attend, talk about the importance of not only voting, but also education and economics. So that's the Regional Council of Negro Leadership. So Dr. T.M. Howard spoke at Dexter Avenue back on November 27, 1955, and Rosa Parks was in the audience. And she said when she was sitting on that bus, I believe that she was thinking about what happened to Emmett Till. So that's why it's important to have the ability to tell your own story, because if it wasn't for the black press and people like Dr. T.M. Howard, who got ran out the state of Mississippi for his civil rights activity, ended up settling in Chicago, was one of the first black people of renown to actually raise money for the widow of Malcolm X and his children. He also gave Reverend Jesse Jackson the seed money for Rainbow Push Coalition. He actually founded that in his mansion in Chicago. And Dr. T.R.M. Howard was a mentor to people like Harold Washington in Chicago, who eventually became the first black mayor of Chicago. And so I just mentioned him because a lot of people don't know about our history. We don't know about our people. And we got a lot of movies coming out. You know, the Selma movie coming out in January, which should be pretty entertaining and also informative, I think, telling people about that important campaign in the movement. But I want people to do their own digging. So there's so many people that we need to talk about, unsung heroes and sheroes of the movement. But we'll talk about that at a later time. But let me just get to what we want to talk about right now. I don't mean to go off on a tangent. I'm sorry about that. But I thought that was important to talk about because Mike Brown, to me, in my humble opinion, could be that Emmett Till moment for us as a people. This could be the tipping point in going the right direction when it comes to liberation of our people. And a lot of people compare what's going on in Ferguson and around the country, even around the world, to Old Testament times, like biblical times, like it's like the days of the Exodus. A lot of biblical stuff. Look at the stuff that's happening with the weather, like up in Buffalo, New York. I mean, that's some biblical shit right there. Okay, but anyway, let's get to the topic. I'm glad got a full switchboard. I'm going to go down the switchboard and let people introduce themselves. Welcome to We All Be Radio. You're on the air. Who is this?
Oh, what's up, man? It's Daniel.
Hey, Brother Daniel, thanks for calling in. You right in the heartland. You right in the St. Louis, Ferguson area. How you doing today, sir?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm good, man. This Brother Daniel Jefferson, he's an artist extraordinaire. He's a brilliant artist. He lives in Ground Zero. We call our Ground Zero in the St. Louis, Ferguson area. He's an artist that actually participated in the groundbreaking Hands Up exhibit, which features artwork concerning Ferguson and Mike Brown from over 100 artists throughout the whole country. I'm a part of that exhibit as well. It's a very important historic exhibition, which will be going on until December 20th, I believe, in the St. Louis, Ferguson area at 18 different locations. So it's good to have you on, man, to talk about what's going on in Ferguson and St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it, man. You know, just like the conversations we've had previous just about things in general. So, you know, I'm interested to see, what we talk about, what gets discussed.
Definitely, man. I'm glad to hear you part of it. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just saying, like, I think I agree with you. I think this is definitely, our Emmett Till, and, this is something that's, it's happened, thousands of times. It's going to keep happening, man, but for some reason, this one was, like the straw, I guess, straw that broke the camel's back, man, and turned into what it turned into.
Definitely. And I also will include some more people around the country. Probably we're going to go up a little bit to the land of Chicago. Sweet home Chicago, how you doing today? Welcome to We All Be.
Hey, my brother. Top of the afternoon to you and your guests. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Is Brother Barnett?
Yes, sir. This is
it's good to call, man.
Reed in the flesh.
Yeah, it's good. I'm glad you was able to join us, man. Thank you for calling in. I know you called earlier. I'm glad you was able to join in because this is what it's all about, to get all your perspective.
Yes, sir. Listen, just an FYI for your listeners. I don't know how many people are listening right now, but there's some serious things happening down in St. Louis. I was just on the phone 10 minutes ago with Dr. Randy Short, and we had a very positive conversation, but he had a call from somebody that was in that car with their two babies that were just at the Rams Stadium down there, and the brother was getting the hell out of there himself. He said that there was 2 or 3 busloads of cops coming in there with batons and riot gear, so something he felt was about to jump off, so he was getting out of there. But I just wanted to let you know so some of your viewers may be in that area that can call in and give you some more detailed information about it. And, it's just a shame what's been happening for hundreds of years in this country with people of color and indeed worldwide. And it takes brothers like yourself and myself and others who are out here that are very conscious to come together now. And as your audience, the brother on the phone just said, this could be that Emmett Till moment if people come together. And the beautiful thing, Brother Randy, that I see that's happening as it happened during the Civil Rights Movement, is that the young people and the youth in this country are the soldiers really on the front line. And they are the ones that are raising the awareness and that are getting, even though some of it's negative publicity by the press, at least they're getting the word out. When you have people over in Japan and other countries putting up signs talking about, "We're with you, Ferguson," that says a hell of a lot in terms of international awareness. And, you know, that's what we need, brothers like that and sisters who are out here on the front lines trying to make a positive difference. And at some point, it's definitely going to have to happen. And what we have to do is stay strong and keep the faith. I mean, things aren't going to change overnight, but any little change that we can make gradually adds up to very positive maximum change, and it's inevitable. I mean, you know, when you have the U.S. government internationally that's getting negative feelings from every country, it's like Brother Malcolm said, you know, the chickens will come home to roost, and this is the bottom line. But there's going to be, you can't sleep on it, there's going to be a hell of a lot of vengeance and wrath put down on people that are, you know, conscious and trying to do something positive. And you know, if I may, Brother Randy, while I have your attention, I just wanted to make a statement about a friend of mine up in Omaha, Nebraska, and I know, as you always relate to African history, her grandmother started the Omaha Black Museum, Historical Museum in North Omaha. And they're giving her people hell up there trying to shut down this very important museum, man. And we need to be trying to help, you know, as many of our people around the country save our lineage and heritage as much as we can. So I just wanted to, you know, make you aware of that. And if you reach out for me and have an interest in helping, I can put you directly in touch with the sister.
Oh, thank you, Brother Muhammad Red. I mean, I'm definitely interested in it because Omaha is the birthplace of Malcolm X. And Nebraska is an interesting...
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Omaha is the birthplace of Malcolm X. That's where he was born on May 19th, 1925. So it's a very important battleground for our people. Yes. So we definitely want to talk about that as well. Hey, speaking of Brother Randy, we got Brother Randy, Dr. Short. You there?
Yes, sir.
I was on to have you on too, sir. He talked about him, and there he appeared.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to mute my phone so you brothers can talk, and reach out for me, Brother Ron. I'm glad you made it back safe from your journey.
Oh, yeah.
May God bless you always and your family and your listeners as well, brother.
Thank you, Brother Muhammad. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I just barely made it back early this morning. It was 12-hour surgery, but I'm glad I'm here to talk to all the family. Dr. Short, how you doing today, sir?
I'm fine. Brother Ron, when we get off this, I got an idea. You need to be flying instead of driving. I got an idea for you.
All right.
Okay, and that's something that would be revenue generating as well. That's always important. Okay, my brother, I've been on the phone. You know, I'm on my way to Ferguson in the next few days.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done?
And I want to let everybody know if you're in Ferguson, they need to be in touch with you, Ron, or me, because we're going to be interviewing people. We're making a documentary on these fascist pig killer cops and what they've been doing to our young people, and it will be on Press TV in the next few months. But we're going to tell it, and we want to hear from the people. I don't want to hear from any black necks. I want to hear from any coons, any nigger preachers, all you fake black people. I don't want you. If you see my films, we only have serious black people on it. And so that's one thing. We're going to put the word out. In Ferguson, I need to say this. You know, they burnt up that boy, DeAndre, who was one of the people that testified that he saw that white policeman, Darren Wilson, shoot Michael Brown. Mm-hmm. And, you know, that's a Klan killing, whether they say so or not. They burnt that church that Michael Brown's father went to. Black folks didn't do that. What we're seeing are agent provocateurs within the FBI and other police agencies that are trying to cast suspicions on black folks. Maybe some did do some things, but, you know, when the people were marching, wanted to march, they made them go on the sidewalk. Well, have you ever heard of marches on the sidewalk? The only time I remember marches on the sidewalk was in Selma, and they were going to beat them up. There was some kind of setup. Normally people march in the street. I really do believe that they had people among the crowds laying incendiary devices, and they could pass it off to the people. Remember the fires all of a sudden started when people were down there marching?
Right.
But they had them on the sidewalk. See, had they been in the street and they ran a set of building, you could see who did it. If they're all crowded up on the sidewalk, it's harder to tell. Now, they've got drones and everything flying all over there. They know all about who killed that boy, DeAndre. They know who shot the woman in the eye with the beanbag.
Right.
And so forth. I mean, they know all about this. What people really need to do, I'm with a group called the American Human Rights University. Everybody needs to learn how to become human rights defenders. We really need to organize people to put Uncle Sam on trial. We're not the criminals. America's a crime scene. We don't have enough yellow tape for these crackers for what they've done to us. And yet they've made our people appear to be the criminals. And by the way, I'm talking very nasty on my wireless thing. There's a CIA surveillance van somewhere near my house. I've never seen that before. I don't care. I meant what I said. I mean, if I was speaking in my drawers walking around my house slippers, I feel the same way as if I'm walking the street. And so they listen to everything else I'm doing so they can listen to this too. I'm just glad that the black folks can hear how angry I am about it. Now, Ferguson, let's be honest. Missouri, in particular the St. Louis area, whether y'all know it or not, is ground zero for racial conflict in America, right? For close to 200 years, going all the way back to the Missouri Compromise, actually 200 years. The country almost had a civil war over Missouri. So you got the Missouri Compromise. Then you got Dred Scott, a case for Missouri. Man took took what he called a slave, an enslaved black man was taken to Illinois. And, of course, they ruled, hey, look, wherever you are in America, you're a slave, especially if you come from Missouri. That's in 1856-57. Okay, what came out of that is blacks have no rights, whites need respect. No black has ever been citizen of the United States, which is the law of the land in America right now, whether they want to admit it or not. Just look at what those devils did to Mr. Brown and what they're going to do to Eric Garner any day now in New York. What else happened in Missouri? Part of what caused the Civil War. The railroads were the big thing. The fight was whether the railroads would go through St. Louis or go through Chicago. The people who are on the Republican free soil type people got it, so it went through Chicago. We have a Civil War. What's the first place, the first location in the country to have a Supreme Court case that outlawed racial segregation or covenantal housing? I mean, there are two cases. There's one in 1913 in Baltimore, but the more important case is Shelley versus Kramer from Missouri, St. Louis, because the blacks were basically under apartheid so heavy, the NAACP took two cities, Washington, D.C., which is Hodge v. Heard, and Shelley versus Kramer from St. Louis to the Supreme Court, and they ruled that covenanted apartheid white-only housing was illegal. Now, you know, there's nothing that makes white go crazier than a piece of real estate having lived next door to a black person. After the FHA rules made it so a black person's house is to be appraised 30% less than a white person's house, that means if I'm a white person, the person moves next door to me, that house next door loses 30% of its value because blacks live there. It means the white person loses value on their house because black people live there. Are you understanding me? So what made white folks go crazy and all of them flee the city? That Supreme Court case that goes back to St. Louis. So think about it. What's the last state in the Union to outlaw slavery? Missouri, 1949.
You said it did in 1949.
Catholic diocese. Yeah, 1949. I mean, white folk ain't playing. The black necks are lying to y'all. Jesse Jackoff and Reverend Crafton. Y'all need to stop following those fools. National Association for the Abortion of Colored People. Y'all need to get some new organizations that will fight, that won't back down. Because these other people, they just want white grants, white money, white pat on the behind, and possibly an unattractive white spouse. of whatever sex, because people are so confused. Same-sex nation, they probably want a white man, used to want a white woman. I have some suspicions about the head of the NAACP right now. Yes, I do. I said it. Okay, let me keep moving. Missouri was the one place in the country, going back to residential issues. The blacks in Pruitt-Igoe, the first project that they destroyed, they blew up, was in St. Louis. St. Louis was one of the first places targeted for urban removal and urban renewal, where they destroyed all the black neighborhoods, destroyed the black families by saying, sister, we'll give you a place to stay if you get rid of the man. They put them in Pruitt-Igoe. It's the first place to really have major project issues. But also they were the first people to have a major movement among poor people inside of Pruitt-Igoe, a rent strike. And they punished the people by standing up to them with no heat, no water. The blacks in St. Louis stood up to them. And what did they do? They bombed Pruitt-Igoe. They had that big arch there, which memorializes one of the largest slave markets on the Mississippi. Huh. Oh, yeah, y'all think y'all going west? No, you're going south. We need to remember the state of Missouri is the very first state in the state capital. There are two Springfield, Missouri. There's two Springfield cities, three major cities named Springfield that had race riots. Springfield, Ohio, Springfield, Illinois, where the NAACP started, and before Springfield, Illinois, you had a race riot in Springfield, Missouri. And they took the most important black men in the city and set them on fire in front of the white people. And on Easter Sunday, the white children came and danced through the ashes of the burned black men. Oh, yes. George Washington Carver, born in Missouri, kidnapped, stolen, castrated, given back to his mother. Oh, let's go back some more. In the 1850s, what was it, Bleeding, Kansas? People from Missouri going over into Kansas, killing people that didn't like slavery.
Right.
Oh, Missouri's crazy people. So, so I did Pruitt-Igoe, and I have to also mention, after Tuskegee, the United States Army for decades has experimented with radioactive, dangerous chemicals and isotopes, trying to figure out ways to kill black people in urban environments. Right there in St. Louis. They haven't paid near a penny. They picked St. Louis. They have the black folks in St. Louis so beaten down. When Martin Luther King was killed, murdered by a government conspiracy, and your hometown, Memphis, the only major city with a black population where black folks didn't do anything was St. Louis. In fact, a lot of us call it Ain't Louis because they ain't done nothing in a long time. First major race riot, or should I say race genocide, in the 20th century, in which blacks at least sort of fought back, was in East St. Louis, where they killed about 400 or 500 black people, drove a community of 10,000 people from their homes. Blacks in St. Louis didn't really help them. We got to pray for folks in St. Louis, but Ferguson has redeemed the black community in St. Louis because in all their hundreds of years, hasn't been a whole lot of resistance like what you'll hear about in Harlem or Huff or in D.C. or in Bronzeville, but they fighting back. And that's what has everybody scared. And the black folks in Missouri, in the state that's always been the one that's brought this country to its knees. I mean, let's go back. I'll give you another factoid. Of all the states, the so-called United States of America, Missouri sent more people to fight to either preserve or at least modify black slavery than all the other places in the country. Oh, white folks there, I don't know what's in the water. I don't know if it's some Gerber baby food with LSD and some white supremacy enzymes in it, but the white folks there are nuts, and everybody knows it. That's why, you know, they even have an amusement park. It's almost white only, called Branson, with all country music, because they know black people don't like country music. You know about Branson.
Oh, yes, sir. I
and
definitely do.
They need to know that Missouri is a place where they never stop lynching black people. One of the main places that they lynch black folks that nobody talks about. Again, city of Springfield. So the state of Missouri is a highly racist, polarized place. Blacks in the St. Louis area lead the country in police slayings as they have for the better part of 10 years or longer. So some black folks just go staggerly on the cops because they can't trust them.
And Staggerly is from St. Louis. Right.
That's right. A man in Kirkwood named Thornton got tired, went in. Did Jack go on the city council?
Right.
Another black man, last name Thornton, went Django on the cops. There's a lot of pressure there, people. And so folks know the history that are bothering the people there. And what we have to recognize, and I have to say this is where human rights comes in, people. Michael Brown's parents are like among the first black parents to ever make a complaint. They didn't file. We got to file, but they made a complaint. If you want to file, Dr. Ansari in Atlanta, you got to have him on your show, Heard, can show people how to organize the file. Do y'all know, you may not know this, the most racist judge in the Supreme Court, Attn Scalia, denounced McCullough, the little nasty prosecutor in Ferguson. I mean, this dude is more racist than Clarence Thomas, which is hard to do. I don't think the devil can do it. The devil said, go ahead, Clarence. Go ahead, Clarence. I mean, Attn Scalia denounced the verdict. When you have racist white supremacists on the Supreme Court that denounced the verdict, y'all understand the deal was so raw until it's impossible even for a racist like Nancy Grace. I think she liked black dudes, aside from all that bigotry. Maybe you can help her out when you break up if you want to do an upgrade and sell us out. We have to keep this in mind. Do you know, and we're waiting, because Obama and them put a lie out this week that they're going to file or they are investigating Wilson. We need to say this very quickly about Wilson. You know, Wilson is an adulterer. The woman he's marrying is a woman he was having sex with and came to blows with her husband, violent blows. He shouldn't have even been on the police force. Not for how he treats black people, but how he treated his first wife he was cheating on, how he's treating his new wife's ex-husband. I mean, here's a cop going strapped up and you screwing someone else's wife on the couch?
Yeah.
And anyone would believe what he had to say? I know your life was threatened. It's by the Incredible Hulk of the husband of the woman you're trying to screw on the slide. All of this has been kept out. It's in the international press. But bring it to point. If Obama, who is a liar and a Kenyan American, and I keep telling you, I went to Harvard, he didn't let anybody black on the Harvard Law Review. He told white people he wouldn't let them in. I heard him say it. He's never changed in the 25 years I've watched that Negro. He's not going to do anything. But the good news is the whole world knows what happens. I'm in a group, International Human Rights Association of American Minorities, and with Dr. Ansari and Dr. Farid Muhammad, we can bring charges against the United States, charges against the mayor of Ferguson, charges against the prosecutor, charges against Obama, charges against Uncle Sam, his little Bama ass with the red, white, and blue stripes. Doesn't even sound good. So we need to think about bringing this whole country to account, and not just Michael Brown's shooting. When Obama talk about one, that's a sellout. We need all the people killed. We need to file the whole thing. And last thing I'm going to say to y'all, in Spain, the Catalonians, an ethnic group there, they want their own show. In Canada, French-speaking Canadians got their own show. In Scotland, they've never been through what we've been through. When you've been persecuted like we have, what the hell business do you have even being with the court system with a bunch of cracker judges and cracker cops and black necks? We need to have our own thing. It's nation time. Enough of these people. Tell Anglo-America to go to hell. And I'm not talking about no Civil War. And if I was, who are the people that run around with the gray flannel and blue flannel on celebrating the Civil War? Hell, if they like the Civil War and they want, the Union to, whether the Union should be dissolved or not, we should be the people that decide. We're the one that the Union that used us to create this country. So we really need to think about human rights, our sovereignty, real freedom in our lifetime. And I just have to say this, Jesse jack off, because that's what he needs to do. He may not wear a condom, but he is somebody. But he shouldn't be somebody leading us. I mean, the first thing, they took the mothballs off that dude, and he's talking about civil rights. We need to honor Malcolm's 50th anniversary of his assassination, February 21st coming up. He said it would take 50 years for black people to go to the UN. Michael Brown is bigger than Emmett Till. Michael Brown's taken us to the United Nations. Michael Brown has Iran and China and people out in the streets in London at Grosvenor, where the embassy was. I went over there and was hanging out with the people in the group called Boney M, getting my passport because someone stole it in London, so I know where it is. And I know they have people with machine guns pointed at them there, people. They're not showing that to you. They've got machine guns on those people, black and white over there. But Michael Brown is bigger than Emmett Till. Emmett Till was national. Michael Brown is international. It's time for our people to think bigger than our borders. You know, I have a travel agency now. I want to send people. We need to start taking people to Africa and seeing other places. Get this Anglo-American garbage that America is the end of the world out of your head. People are living better in other places with more dignity than here. Just wonder why so many black folks moving to Panama and to Ghana, because living here with all this unnecessary stress is ridiculous. And Obama's ridiculous, and all the black necks are ridiculous. And Ferguson, and I'm going to say this, I'm going to shut up. Ferguson is hope. Ferguson is a ray of hope that our young people are going to step up and take us, because our people were defeated. If Al Sharpton, with his effeminate hairdo and his skinny Craig diet or whatever it is, it's making him look like a tarantula with 4 legs, whatever he's doing, Jesse, and this evil woman that looks like a can of Raid with the wig on, Loretta Lynch, that they want to be the next Attorney General, or this wicked man, Eric Holder, a Caribbean monster, this man who literally destroyed the political machine of blacks who are following the Honorable Marion Barry, whose funeral is this week coming up. If this isn't the reward of us having a civil rights revolution, this is a curse of a civil rights failure, a civil rights counter coup. I saw a lot of people looking for what's your future, what's your destiny, what's your purpose. Your purpose is to pick up the ball from the one number from the end zone and take it all the way and get a touchdown for freedom for all the people who've struggled. There's plenty to live for. We need to end the apartheid in America in our lifetime. I'm not singing we shall overcome someday. Damn it, we need it now. They're killing us before we're born. You know, as I spoke to you yesterday, maybe it's closed, Planned Parenthood, basically a para-government organization, kills 1,700 black babies every day. Y'all have chop shops in Memphis. I stopped one of my students when I was at Lane from killing her baby, 9-month pregnancy. I mean, Eric Holder, he's a trustee of a chop shop in Atlanta where they kill 9-month-old babies. That's why he's stepping down. They defrauded the government. They're getting paid to kill our babies. I mean, I can't wait until someday. We've got to be free now. No more white rule over our people. We've got to have something else.
Well, Dr. Randy Shaw, I also want to mention, too, because the media played tricks on people's minds. It was a story that was made earlier about Darren Wilson's mom. Not only was he's a violent adulterer, but also his mom was a notorious con artist. I'm going to read something I got from EURweb.com. I'm going to read a quick thing. It said, Wilson's mother was a serial con artist who cheated her victims out of hundreds of thousands of dollars by stealing their identities and taking out huge loans, which resulted in credit card debt. During her crime spree, Dorso, her name is Tanya, or was Tanya Dorso. She's dead now. Dorso was on parole for similar crimes she committed in Missouri. I call it misery. She died at age 35 under mysterious circumstances. So she died at the age of 35 under mysterious circumstances, which is interesting. And her son is 28, and he's 7 years away from 35. Let's see what happens, hopefully. Karma is a bitch. And I just want to let that know, because they let that slip. Nobody really talked about that in the mainstream.
No, because they deliberately, they did the same thing with the O.J. Simpson trial. Now, I couldn't stand Simpson. I still don't like O.J. Simpson. But
right.
to hear that his wife was a cocaine switch-hitting lesbian whore, that she's running with this Jewish woman named Faye Resnick, they snorted up over $500,000 worth of dope in like 3 months. Don't you think you could get in trouble with some drug pushers that would cut your throat if you welched on your bill and you snorting that much dope? You can die for $5 500,000. And that's not all. You know, Goldman was a male prostitute. O.J. Simpson's probably bisexual. Why you have a homosexual porn star living in your house for free? That's what Kato Kaelin is. O.J. wasn't that about Nicole leaving him. You know, they can't put that out there. They can't put out that they cut off Goldman's penis. Now, come on now. First of all, the only way someone black is they're not going to cut off a penis. They may put it in their mouth or somewhere else. They ain't going to cut it off. That's some Arab stuff. That's some, that's some South American stuff. You cutting people's things off. Black men don't want to touch your private. He barely want to touch his own. I mean, OJ's going to take the boys. First of all, it's smaller anyway. So, it's not an upgraded cowboy thing. And OJ's going to give him what's called a Colombian necktie or Kabyle smile, where you slit the throat and pull the tongue out. African Americans don't kill like that. You follow what I'm saying? It's so OJ. I mean, what about the fact that Nicole Simpson called her mother at the timeline that the police said OJ was killing them? How come the companies in 20 years have refused to give up the phone records? Because they want O.J. guilty. Why? Mark Furman's a Jew. Van Adder's a Jew. Marcia Clark, she's a Jew. All these Jewish folks in this case for O.J. that know what's talking about. Kato Kaelin's Jewish. The boy, the trick, who's coming to the house to do drugs with her is Jewish.
With Dr. Short,
all of these. Do you follow?
No, go ahead.
It was about white womanhood, the sanctity of white womanhood, and then Jewish reputation. Sacrifice. They make Michael Brown, because what you really have is white males and their big, ugly, nasty, undivided behavior being compared, and they made the black man fall guy. It's to cover for the fact that they know they're wicked. They know they're wicked. They don't want anybody else to know.
Yeah, I want to thank you for that. As I know we're going to talk about it a little bit, because I really want to focus on the Mike Brown. I got some people on the line who's on ground zero right now as we speak that's been there for the last week or so. I want to talk about that. But the OJ thing was actually a serial killer who's on death row in Florida, a guy by the name of Glenn Rogers, who admitted to killing Ron Goldman and Nicole Brown Simpson that night. He's currently on death row. He's a serial killer and rapist. He's a white man. He admitted to it. He got a documentary out that you can find online called My Brother the Serial Killer. It's called My Brother the Serial Killer, with Glenn Rogers, one of America's least known quote-unquote serial killers.
You know they don't want people to think that. They wanted people to hate black folks for it, because if you start looking more deeply, like that dyke Greta Van Susteren, who's up there trashing Michael Brown, who made a name off OJ. It's about not letting people see. I worked in media during the OJ trial. When you see them deny any kind of balance, no one talks about the toys that Michael Brown played with or the friends that he had. They don't allow anyone that knows him to really speak, and yet they're letting people for the killer speak. It's because they don't want you.
Is that a short? Dr. Short, you there?
Those that voted for him, y'all need to reject him. Y'all need to reject. He needs to be impeached before they kill the rest of us, and he'll sit and watch them do it the same way. The National Guard in Ferguson, as you know, protected the white areas and allowed the provocateurs that were sent in there to burn it, to burn the place down, to make black folks look bad, the same way provocateurs burnt up communities all over this country.
Dr. Short, you break in and out. Dr. Short, well, this is what I want to say. You break in and out, but I want to say this, because we got people on the ground that got some information in real time. I want to thank you.
I'm going to sign up.
Yeah, I appreciate, Dr. Short, what you're doing. You stay safe and keep on producing and pushing. Thank you so much. It's Dr. Randy Short. He's an honorable brother that's fighting on the front lines for us outside the halls of academia for years now. He's a good brother. Just found him on Facebook. Just type in Randy Short, and he'll pop up. And we're going to move on, because we got some people on the line as well who actually are on the ground. I got a lot of people on this switchboard. I'm going to get to everybody. Just be patient with me, please. I want to get through, and I also get, okay. But I also want to make a distinction between what they call violence and what they're calling looting. Like, you know, to me, destroying property is not the same as violence. I mean, like what was committed on Mike Brown by Darren Wilson, that was a violent act. To me, destroying your property, all this stuff, this is an act of frustration by people who are subjugated to not the same rules as so-called, quote-unquote, superior people within that system. When I say white supremacy, I'm not talking about anything that is occurring in the natural world. White supremacy is not a natural phenomenon by any means. It is not God's sanction or God made. It's made by man. And as we all know, anything man-made can be broken. So I just want people to think about that. When they equate the loss of black life to getting your car burned or getting your store burned, you got insurance for that. That's why you pay for insurance. When it comes to black folks, there is no insurance that we be protected from some of the most violent elements of white supremacy. So let's think about that. So, Brother Daniel, I want to get your quick take. I know you're there on the ground. What's going on the ground?
I mean, I'm riding through right now. I mean, it's just, you know, you see the aftermath, I mean, of you know, of what happened. I mean, I don't think that had this just been 100% from the beginning, had it been 100% peaceful, it wouldn't have got the attention it got, man. It got the attention it got because of the, you know, of all the stuff that came after, just like, you know, right now, like after, you know, with the verdict, and you know, they were mentioning the, you know, the suspect, you know, the way the fires just like kind of popped up right away like that, and I think someone even mentioned that to me, that there's some type of questionable footage of, I think it's there was an AutoZone on West Florissant, and they were saying that there were just, you know, cops around that, and then all of a sudden, you know, it catches fire. But, you know, they were the only ones around. So, I mean, I think with something like this, man, it's going to be one of them things where, like, years and years after, there's going to be, you know, just like any type of conspiracy, JFK, anything, man, like, you know, stuff is going to pop up, you know what I mean, new information, and people are going to come forward. But, you know, like all those things, too, that usually by that time, it'll, you know, we'll be on to our next, you know, our next tragedy, and, you know, most people probably won't care. I mean, that's kind of messed up to say, but, you know.
Well, there's a lot of people that feel like that, what you're saying, but I also want people to understand this. So we need to talk about this history right here. This is some deep COINTELPRO stuff still going on. They call it by a different name. There's COINTELPRO by another name. I can recall what they was doing back in the 90s where all these black churches were being burned. Ain't no black folks burning these churches down. I'm sorry. Ain't no black people burning these churches down. They were targeted for whatever reason. For example, you go back to the 60s. The reason why a lot of them civil rights... Go ahead, I'm sorry.
If you were here, if you were here doing what you're doing, someone just told me that there's a person here that's pretty, pretty active, that, like, you know, their name's out there, and they're like heavily, like, involved in the protesting here. And this person told me that, you know, the person they're speaking about, like, got straight pulled over, and they, like, let them know, like, we're watching you. They had guns drawn on him and his chick, and they let them know, like, we're watching you. Don't think we ain't watching you. You're on, you know, the list. You know, like in all these situations, they always have a list of you know, people that they deem the troublemakers and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, this right here, like, if you was doing this here, you know, you'd definitely be on the list.
I think we all on the list right now, brother. I think we all on the plantation. We all on the King Alfred plan right now. It's looming over all our heads.
You know, I mean, I don't. I mean, it's messed up to say that, man. Like, but this was necessary. Like I said, like, if it would have just been peaceful, it wouldn't have been the same message, man. Like, you know, you don't want to see anybody lose, you know, anybody's property get burnt up, and, you know, that's their business, that's their livelihood. But, like, you know, that, I mean, that was
But is your livelihood worth more than your life, though? But is your livelihood worth more than your life? So their businesses are insured. Like a sister, she lost her cake. You know, they messed up her property. and then she was able to raise like what $150,000 in one day and counting.
I mean, just as far as I just mean as far as the attention, you know, the attention.
I agree with you, definitely.
You know.
Well, you know, it's funny that the people that commit the biggest crimes want you to be nonviolent while they rape you and exploit you for generations and decades. That is the problem, the American hypocrisy problem, because the race problem will always be a white problem. Because everywhere white people go, they cause hell. They mess up stuff. That's not me saying that there's a black supremacist. That's me saying that as a person who studies history and study patterns. Things tend to repeat themselves in certain contexts. So if I was talking about the FBI, for example.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but with the FBI, I want to say this because people got to understand why they were able to solve so many of those cases during the movement back in the 60s. The FBI was the Klan. The FBI was inside the Klan. When that white woman named Viola Liuzzo went down to Alabama to help out with, I believe, the Selma March, and she was taking a brother back home, whatever, you know, going back home. It was an FBI person in the car with those Klansmen that shot and killed that lady. They thought they killed the brother, but he played dead when they went back to check. But it was a FBI people that shot and killed that woman. Even with Swarner, Cheney, and Goodman, you had FBI within the Klan. Because you got to understand the reason why the FBI became so strong in the first place is by taking down the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. That story has yet to be told. See, white folks, when they do their movies and books, they always tell the greatest white lie and make it the most venerable truth there is. Well, the biggest lie they're telling is that the fact that the FBI was built on the backs of John Dillinger and the public enemies, when in reality, Marcus Garvey was more a threat to white supremacy than anybody we ever had in this system, period. Because what he was able to do with black folks throughout the diaspora, he didn't have access to the radio. He didn't have no Twitter or Facebook or social media apparatus. Yeah, he was able to galvanize and mobilize over 1 million black folks throughout the world, especially in the Hell America, as we know as the United States of America, the Republic of the United States of America. So the FBI actually hired their first black agent. He was a D.C. cop and a decorated World War I veteran. He was known as Agent 800. He was the first black FBI agent, and he was hired to take out Marcus Garvey, to neutralize Marcus Garvey. And that's how the FBI was built, because J. Edgar Hoover, he was no lawman. He was a bureaucrat. He used to work at the Library of Congress when he was going to George Washington University. And also, what people don't know, J. Edgar Hoover was passing. If you talk to some of the old timers in D.C., they would tell you that his family was black people. Matter of fact, it's a book a sister wrote some years ago. Yeah, it's like the Hoovers of Macomb, Mississippi. You got some Hoovers down in Macomb, Mississippi. Now, Macomb, Mississippi is where Brandy, the singer, and her brother Ray, they folks are from Macomb, Mississippi. But the lady alleged in her book, you can find this book, just Google it. She said that Hoover made a visit to those black folks down in Macomb who were Hoovers. He said if they ever told the truth about who he really was, he would kill them all. You got to think about it, he was one of the most powerful people we ever seen in this government. And you think about the stuff he did, he had to have a self-hate issue. Because he despised Dr. King. He despised the Panthers. Okay? So this is what you're dealing with right now. You're in a system that does not value you as a black person. But they'll insure your house. They insure your car. But they're making damn sure you won't get no justice as a black person. So I want to move in. Got another person. Go ahead, brother.
No, I was just gonna say, like, you know, these conversations, you know, we have these conversations, and then, you know, from this conversation on, does it just end up being a,
sexual masturbation
conversation like
it's sometimes like a circle jerk off. I agree. Mm-hmm.
What can be done? Like what's like the, you know what I mean? Like these you have these conversations with people is what I'm saying, and then like fantasy from reality. Like what can be? We want to change this and that, but what's the real talk? Like where can we start, man? Like something legit, because you're also, you realize we're in a society, man. Like we got a short attention span. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like even like this has a time limit on it till the next one happens, and the one that happens after that, or till so and so's album comes out. And, then it's like it's gonna. I mean, even you know, like these news organizations now are like, you know, they're losing attention with this because they, you know, we're it seems like we're a society right now. We like drama, man. We like drama, and just like even with the stuff like this, like the peaceful protests and stuff, and people painting on it. That's all well and good. It's cool, but we like what we saw when the verdict dropped, man. That's what people that's what people like. You know, they may not want to admit it, but that's what they want. So it's like, how do you, like, where do we start, man? For real, like something legit that makes sense and not just like fantasy, man, of just, you know, overthrowing them. And you gotta be clear on who them is. You know, some you know, it's just not all white people. Just like back in civil rights era, it wasn't just all white people back then. It was black people involved. There was you know, going against their own too.
Yeah, that's a good point you raised. I think people need to understand it. It is about the mentality, because right now we're gonna focus on this hour about solutions. We got people on the phone. We got Sister Chandra Williams. I see you, Sister Chandra. Do not hang up for any reason. I'm gonna get to you. I got Brother Bilal Muhammad, a good brother who's on the ground down there. And we're going to talk about these solutions in this hour, about what you talk about. I'm glad you was able to segue into that, because that's a very important piece, because we don't really spend enough time talking about solutions, and really we don't spend enough time talking about our problems in this system of white supremacy. Because it seems like what they do, they got a good job of doing, is always blaming the victim, or you're a black, uppity so-and-so, that's why you got what you got. Even black folks do it. He must have did something wrong. The only thing you did something wrong was being born black. The only thing you did wrong was being born black. The white supremacist system. Yeah,
big time. I mean, even like, I mean, I think every race has their little dirty secrets, man, that they don't want to admit to. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna talk about one aspect, you got to talk about everything. Like,
I agree with you. Transparency.
This is a very like part of living here is, you know, certain things, like certain realities, they are what they are, man. And that is, when they say that love it or leave it thing, it's fucked up, man. Like, some things you might be able to change it, and some things are, I feel like they are going to be, you know, they're going to be what they're going to be, man. Like, I'm sorry,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
You know, no, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. It just seems like even like with the movies that we watch right now, like, it seems like the world wants. The world is like fiending for like the end, you know, the Walking Dead, the end of the world, the end of times. You know, everybody that's all, you know, everybody, you know, every sermon is about the end of times. You know, the Helter Skelter, the Armageddon. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what everybody. It's just, I don't know. I mean,
because you know why it's like that? Man. Because everywhere white folks go, they bring death. Everywhere Columbus went, he brought death and pestilence. You know, all them big plagues and stuff was going on in Europe. It wasn't happening in Africa and stuff like that. They were having a renaissance. So what people got to understand, too, is this, like the wise jazz master guru that had a chance to meet the wonderful brother Randy Weston, he said that America is Africa. What people don't understand is that you already had Africans here. You understand? We all didn't come on no good ship Jesus, okay? You already had Africans here.
Right.
Even Columbus and them recognized, hey, everywhere we go, there's Africans. Okay, you look at Europe. Europe was uncivilized, okay? Caesar looked at Europe like we look at the backwoods of Alabama, okay? You know, and I seasoned them. They said we could either go to Africa, to Egypt, and learn and steal some shit, or we go to goddamn backwoods and deal with them cave people. We're going to go to Africa, okay? Like, you look at Egypt. Egypt is the place of civilization and learning. And then we don't understand. We got to know that history, because we are the master teachers of civilization. This is not an idle boast. See, I can back this with variable fact. The oldest universities in Europe was founded by black people. The piano is an African instrument. It's like the banjo is an African instrument. If you look at even the Grand Ole Opry, the first stars of the Grand Ole Opry were black people like D4 Bailey, okay? You look at the Kentucky Derby.
What it is?
Go ahead, but the winning, like, you look at the lawn jockey. They think that's an insult, the black lawn jockey, right? But the winningest Kentucky Derby jockey of all time is a black man named Isaac Murphy. What I'm saying is, you look at who taught George Gershwin. Even Larry Bird said, I learned basketball from the black man. What did Eminem learn? Rap. Come on now. We the master teachers and the architects of this civilization. It's like what Brother Dick Gregory said, when they were taking slaves from Africa, they were bringing over scientists and engineers and architects and stuff. It wasn't Thomas Jefferson planning and building Monticello. It was the slaves. It was a black man that built Washington, D.C. And even the monetary system, the guy on $10 bill is a black man. Don't look at that picture on the $10 bill. Alexander Hamilton was a black man.
I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, but you're what you ain't gonna get, man. You're not gonna get the white race to go. You know what? You're right, man. You're right.
I'm not trying to convince them, brother.
Black.
I don't care what the white folks say.
I'm not saying like you're trying to. I'm not saying trying to convince them, but I'm just saying like it's all this shit is fear based, man. So it's all fear.
They fear mongers though, because they fear mongers, man. That's their natural. Their thing is they don't understand because they want to destroy it. And then when they see something that might be a benefit, they want to take it and not give people their proper credit. It's like just a joke. They say, what's the greatest thing that white folks ever invented? The greatest invention. Think about it. Will you know the answer?
What?
It's the patent office. So with white people, it's never about being accurate or being factual. It's about who get there first to claim the shit. You know, like with Africa, they got you thinking Africa is poor. No, the indigenous people in Africa are poor because of colonialism and white supremacy and because of their greedy leadership. Because they try to copy what the Europeans done, not realizing that Africans pioneered. Like, you even look at Christianity. We talking about Jesus and all this other stuff. The oldest Christians are Coptic Christians, right? Ethiopia, they're all from Egypt. The foundation of Christianity is in Egypt. And you look at Ethiopia, the oldest Bible is in Ethiopia. They say the Ark of the Covenant is in Ethiopia. You talking about Judaism, you talking about Hebrews. Judaism is an African religion. Ethiopian Jews and whatnot. So we can talk about all this, but I'm not trying to convince white folks. I really think, I'm going to be honest with you, the only answer that if black folks want to have a chance, yeah, I know it sounds crazy to a lot of folks, especially black people, because we're so used to being abused. We like an abusive relationship with white people. It's separation. Separation. That's the only answer. Because you never will get justice in the system as it fought over. Or separate.
I hear what you. I hear exactly what you're saying, but I also got to make clear that I'm of biracial descent, man. My mother's white, so like
we all mixed, man. We all mixed.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, but these topics are always interesting for me because you got some people that like in these topics that like. I mean, if the discussion was, if it was an all white panel and the guy was saying this is, I mean, it's like it's coming off no different to me. Like I process what you're saying. I've been processing this my whole life. I've been like on both sides of the fence, and I've felt like an outsider to both sides of my race, man. So like I'm just. In this situation, I'm talking right now, but I'm also trying to do a lot of listening, man, because I'm enjoying these facts that you're bringing up, things I didn't know. So like, yeah, so I'm just appreciative, man, that you consider me on this conversation, though.
I mean, you're a good dude, but when a cop look at you, they see a white person, or they see a nigga. Or they see a black person. Excuse me.
I've got stories for days. I got stories for days, man. Of all type of, I got all type of stories. I mean, sometimes I've heard them. They've asked me what I was. Oh yeah, I've got stories like like that for days. Matter of fact, right down the street from the Ferguson police station, I had one hop out of the car when I was walking home, and he just grabbed me and like. Started going through my stuff, and when I asked him, I was like, "What's up, man? Why you?" He's like, "Oh, well, there was a burglar in the area, and you fit the profile." I'm like, "Okay, so then why is your boy in the other squad car? Why is he just rolling past? Like when he would do backup on you, right?" But like, to me, man, stuff like that is just like when you see clouds outside. You expect rain. Like that's what I expect from them. But that's their training, man. Their training is flawed. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their training is to respond the way he responded. And I think with him, it was a situation of like a grown man, got his pride hurt because he got his ass whooped, and he just he reacted the way he reacted. It wasn't supposed to go down like that. He's supposed to be the big badass cop, and he got his ass whooped, and he couldn't deal with that.
Okay, good. So I want to include some more people. I'm glad you shared that with us, brother. I'm glad you're on the call with us as well. It's very important to hear your perspective. and people are definitely enjoying what you got to say. So I want to get the brother Bilal Muhammad. How you there? Thanks for waiting online so patiently, sir. How you doing today?
I'm blessed, brother, blessed. I'm getting all the knowledge from the brothers and who's up there. First of all, I was down there when the verdict came through, and I was very disappointed. I think the only issue to deal with this is that we need, and I said it the last time I had spoke to you, that we need to educate our people on defense level. We have a lot of organizations in black movement with diminished defense, and I would love to see, and I didn't see none of that down there. First of all, I think it's, a black power salute to the new Black Panther Party and the black writers who is, giving the pig pill hell, and they fighting for the rights of the people. But if you look on Facebook, we have a lot of black organizations who spend most of their time debating with each other and not hitting the community. We need more police patrol. We need to patrol our own neighborhood. If we call ourselves Black Panthers and trying to follow the way of the Black Panthers, we need to get out there, arm ourselves, and patrol the community. That's the only way we can stop this, these pigs that they're doing to our people. But now we got a little problem because now we got black-on-black crime. So when we say do black life matter, so the white folk feel if we don't care about our life, then why should it? So we have to first get our homes together. We have to first give black love among each other to teach them you pointing the wrong gun at the wrong people. We're not your enemy, they are. So we have to teach our young brothers and sisters who the enemies is. And they have not been taught. That's dangerous when you give a man a gun who don't understand who he is.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But do you expect anything different from the verdict? Do you think he actually going to get charged with something? Did you feel like he was based on your knowledge?
His thing, I don't see any. Listen, the only change we have, the only thing I see changing, if we really from state to state follow, stick together, and just stay on it. Just stay on it. Just stay on it. And I've said this before. You can't march and sing for justice. Justice is something you have to take. And that's been proven because when they went to get Bin Laden, they didn't give that man no court. They killed him. They went after him and killed him. There was no court. So we have to follow how they do. You understand? We need to go out and start hunting for these people. We need to stop playing and sing and shout, we shall overcome, and lift every voice and saying, Dr. Khalid Muhammad say, damn that, lift every fist and swing. You know what I'm saying? I'm about revolution. And that's the only thing going to change, that we have to get it together. We got to stop. The only problem I have, we tore up our own damn neighborhood. We should have tore the precinct up. We should have tore up City Hall. We should have tore up the courthouse. You understand? That's where you should go at. I want to go to the precinct. We should have ran up in the precinct and snatched their ass. And see, here's the thing we got a problem with. We don't know our right. You have the right that if you don't like your mayor in your city, you have the right to vote him out. Why do we keep on complaining about these damn sorry-ass bootlegged dancing Negro leaders in the state senators or city hall? You complaining. You have the right to vote him out. Get him out. That's all you have to do. Vote him out. And that's the problem. You sit around here, we get on Black Talk Radio, we talk about here, the brothers say, what we going to do about it? And you're right. What are we going to do about it? You understand? But I'm on Facebook right now as we speak. And you got to see the thing that we put up there about what we're going to do to protect the police. We got brothers pointing the gun at the police. We got brothers hanging the Ku Klux Klan. Well, goddamn it, let's do it. Stop talking about it. You understand? This is crazy. And for the Black Panthers for justice, we mean what we said. We are not going to march for justice. When I was down there for everything, I love going down there. It's a lot of unity, but they got the wrong contact. They got to learn to direct the war the right way. Right now, I'm upset because the National Guard there, and everybody gets disappeared. You understand? I didn't see all the organization, and I love the organization. I'm not knocking those brothers and sisters. Let me clear that up. But you got a lot of organization in Black movement and Pan Africa on Facebook. Where the hell was you? You should have been. Where are the minute defense? We call ourselves military defense. Where were you? You should have been down in Ferguson on post. It said take charge of your post, all black property in view. That means I don't give a damn where the war is. We put a boat there, be there. You are the military of defense. You should be there. I ain't see you. You understand? That's crazy. You're on Facebook posting up that you're a warrior and you're a vanguard for the community. God damn it, where was you?
Those are good questions to ask. I just think, yeah. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You know, and I think that the problem, then I right now I'm traveling. I'll be in Chicago next week about how to arm yourself. And this is the thing I think I talked to you about, teaching our young brothers and sisters how to legally get armed to stand your ground. To stand your ground. You know, in certain states, they have this thing called ride along. And I know a lot of brothers on the radio say they ain't gonna ride with no police, no pig. But if you ride along with them, it gives you a sense of power to monitor them. You understand? So you have to, first of all, you got to police your own community, patrol in the community, but you ride along with these pigs so you can watch what they do. You understand? Now we keep on directing that the white man, the pigs. But guess what? You got black police officers doing the same thing.
Right.
You understand? They out there. In fact, when I was in St. Louis this week, black man, they had one police officer in ride there. And I asked him, I said, brother, you scared as hell. He was shaking, man. He didn't know, you know what I'm saying? Could you imagine what was going through that boy's head? He didn't know what to do. He's scared. He didn't know what side to jump on. All he think about, if I jump on this side, I know where I belong. That brother knew he belonged at, but he can't because he's scared. You understand? He don't know what to decide to make. But we're going to come a day, black man, Mr. Pig, you're going to have to make a decision, and it's going to be too late because they're going to make the decision for you. You understand? And we got to learn that we got to educate ourselves. They got this thing a lot of black organizations call survival program. And we think survival program dealing with food and clothing. God damn it, we know how to get food and clothes. We knew that we need to learn how to arm ourselves. We need to know how to shoot. These white folks teaching their kids, 15 to 9 years old, how to shoot you. And we sit up here teaching our kids how to do them damn cracker-ass dances, booty dances and shit. And we don't teach them how to arm themselves. You don't take your child to the gun range to show how to proper aim and shoot. Because it coming times you're going to have to defend your community. It's coming. It ain't coming. It's already here. You don't drop the National Guard down there, and now we singing We Shall Overcome. We scared to get hit upside the head at the British Club. Hit him back. I told one brother they had a German Shepherd out there last week. I said, man, go in your car. He had a dog and he had a pit bull. I said, bring that pit bull out. He said, what? I said, God damn it, he got his dog. He can bring you a dog for a dog. What the hell wrong with you? You going to sit there and run. Go get your dog. He got a dog, and guess what? That pit bull was going the hell off. You damn right. You bring your dog on my people, going to stick our damn dog on you. And I'm that type of brother. So when we start thinking militant, you take a militant to deal with militant shit. You can't come with no we shall overcome shit to deal with militant stuff. What's wrong with us? We can't say we shall overcome and our brothers are dropping like flies. And let me just say this. I love the Michael Brown family. I sympathize. But understand this. There's a whole lot before Michael Brown that we still have not got justice. There's a lot of after Michael Brown that have got justice. We have to really stop all this bootlegged talking, stop all this black African movement talking, and do the work. Stop. If you right now, brother, you go on Facebook and all you see. I'm tired of that. Like, it's really unbelievable. People are dying. People are looking for revolution, and we playing revolution. Is you going to stand up? Shut up. Either way, get down, lay down. Brother, I talk to you for you. We got to stop this. We waste too much time on Facebook talking about this. And matter of fact, we debate with each other. We put down each other on Facebook. And the white man looking at it laughing. We talking about the pull and tell. Hell, we put enough information about who we are on the Facebook. No wonder the government know the hell you doing.
Right.
So my thing is, if you want to stop it, you got to deal with them on their level. I'm not mad at them young brothers for whooping and doing what they doing. I'm mad what they did to that because you destroy your own community. Because guess what? You wasn't taught how to fight the war. You never read the art of war. You never read the book about the door. See, you have to read and understand how to move the military act. You understand? You brought the war in your own home. One thing about the white man, he never fight the war in his own neighborhood. He go and tear your shit up in your neighborhood. And that's how we got to think. Now, guess what? If they would have did that, they would have got all the justice they want. Because the first thing they would have said, whoever Al Sharpton hit Palm man, go down there and make them stop doing this shit. Hell no, run his ass back out. But if they would have think like that and hit the courthouse, that's who made the damn verdict. They should have win that courthouse, pull the courthouse up, and then we got justice. That's my opinion. That's not, it's me speaking, Brother Bilal. But I'm tired, Jake. I'm really tired of these people up on Facebook, come up on Black Talk Radio, and they talk. They good educated part of the black African movement, Black history. We know the history. The white man even know our history better than us. But what's he going to do with it? All these educated brothers and sisters, what are they going to do with it? What are we doing? That's not stopping the cop from killing you because I know who Martha Garvey was. That's not going to stop. That young brother ain't trying to hear that. Michael Brown's mother ain't trying to hear that. She wants justice. And a lot of mothers, take out Martin's mother, wants justice. What are you going to do, tell him a story about Malcolm X? Hell no. The first thing she did out of her family was burn this goddamn thing down. And guess what? That's what they did. Burn that shit down. All they did, they probably should have burnt the precinct down. But that's who your enemy is. So we have to lead. Where's the brain to fight at?
Well, I can't blame the young soldiers now. They don't have no generals. You got soldiers with no generals. That's the problem. It's the old folks that failed the young people. The young people got the right spirit. It's like when I saw the 30th anniversary of the Emmett Till story. Back in 85, I was reading this article from the Clarion Ledger, the Mississippi newspaper. They interviewed Roy Bryant, who was the husband of Carolyn Bryant, who claimed that Emmett Till wolf was her. And he moved back to the Delta because around that time after the trial, when the white folks found out that they actually did what they did and the black folks stopped going to his store, they lost money. They went bankrupt. They had to move out the state. They moved to Texas, I believe. But Roy Bryant ended up coming back some years later, and he's in the Delta, and he said that the black folks today are not afraid like they was back in 55. But the thing is, they don't know their history. If they knew who I was, I would be a dead man. See, the problem is you got a lot of people, they brave, but they don't got no knowledge of self. They're not conscious of what came before or what came after. And to me, it's like, that's right. We got a lot of Jonathan Jacksons out there. We got the Jonathan Jacksons out there. We got the George Jacksons. So look what happened to Jonathan Jackson when he went into that Marin County courthouse. But the thing about it is, it's like Dr. King said it best, if a man ain't willing to die for anything, you ain't fit to live in the first place. If you're not willing to put your life on the line for what you believe in, then like, well, to paraphrase, not going to get the word freedom out your vocabulary. A lot of people are not really up for dying for something they believe in. They'll die for some trinkets and shit. They'll die for some Jordans and for their car and for a fucking PlayStation or even for a goddamn McDonald's hamburger. But they won't die for no self-respect. They won't die for no dignity. And they don't want to die. They won't do for themselves. They want no type of accountability because it's that black on black thing is a farce because to me, my life ain't worth shit in this system unless I get out this damn system and have something that's alternative. Because we waste so much time trying to fight to be in with these people, but we should not want to be with people that destroy us. They're your enemy. Like, if your education is not informing you who your enemy is, you a damn educated fool. And only a fool would want to have somebody that's dogging them out as their supervisor or as the person over them. That's right. They don't care nothing about you. They can't take care of their own people. And you just an afterthought if you thought of it all. I mean, this is the truth. Black people won't get any justice. I talk to all type of legal scholars and experts, and I ask them, can a black person get justice? And then sometimes they'll be, well, I don't. But they say, no, you can't get justice. Because you can't bring my thumb back, damn it. I ain't talking about no goddamn money and trinkets. Bring my child back. How many black boys have been killed since Mike Brown? Okay? Every week. That's a war. That's a war. That's a war. I don't give a damn if you don't know how to shoot a gun or a goddamn slingshot. That's a fucking war. And that's collateral damage. You like, the Jews ain't going around asking Nazis, are y'all getting rid of all of us? Should we leave? Should we fight back? You know what I'm saying? Do we really need somebody walking around Ferguson with a hooded bed sheet on top of their head? Let them know that we are at war with white supremacy? And even if you don't pick up a gun or fire a bullet, you're still a dead man walking.
That's right.
I mean, that's just the reality. We got to stop tipping toes. Like you said, we got to just talk real talk. And I don't want to be one of the people that's posting on Facebook. I'm not advocating anything. I'm just saying Don't be a damn fool all your damn life. That's what I'm telling my people. Don't be a damn fool all your damn life. That's right. Because self-preservation is the law, first law of nature, self-preservation, right? And Darrell Wilson made sure he's still alive to enjoy his millions of dollars. He said, it's between me and this darky, it's going to be the darky. It's going to be lying or mothering in their grave. Go ahead, I'm sorry, bro. That's nice. Yes, sir. But one of the things that right now, what Black Panther for Justice is doing is that I'm going around the different states, and I will leave my number to give you the laws and educate how to get your license to carry. Mm-hmm. Because different states have different laws. You know, I'm a bounty hunter, so I'm really trying to educate our brothers and sisters to carry. And I believe that it would show a totally different level of defense when it comes to the pig. And it's been proven in Texas, it's a city that's really showing you that carrying the arm, you know, they calm down. They really they don't have no problem with the pig. So it's we have to understand that these southern states are very under attack. They don't talk too much of that up here in Jersey and New York. They do it, but I wish that a lot of us right now, Allah is showing me a picture, brother, to show our brothers and sisters how to get armed and to protect yourself, to stand your damn ground, and because guess what? When they had the protest in Ferguson, the Klan came down in the neighborhood marching with guns. Mm-hmm. They telling you that they in here with guns, and the pig never went up there and asked them, do y'all have license? They never questioned them. So that tells you that they okay what they're doing. So we need to educate them about how to defend yourself, carry yourself, and defend yourself by any means necessary. Because the Peckerwood have declared war on the black community. And we should up here start playing all this talking and I would love to see a united front. I would love to see all the militants. Matter of fact, I'm giving my number to all the black military defense. If you got a better idea how to deal with this shit, call me. I'll roll with you. Brother Bilal, I have no problem rolling. Anybody tell you, I jump on the next flight, brother, believe me. You know what I'm saying? I have no problem. And any brother see me, I come out here by my damn self because I love my people. I love my people. We scared to go to jail. We'll go to jail for a bag of weed or a stolen car, but goddamn, we want to go to jail for snatching a pig up by his damn collar. That's true. You understand? I don't want to go to jail with that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We scared to go to jail for something. We walking around, like I said, I told you a few minutes ago, the brother, the police brought their dog out when I was in Ferguson, and I told the young man he had a pit bull in the car. The cop told him to put his dog in the car because the dog was going off. I said, hell no, bring that dog out. You move that dog on his dog. And he brought that damn dog. That cop put that damn dog back in the truck. You want your dog, don't you, white boy? Put that shit right back in the truck. What the hell wrong with you? And that's how we got to do. A dog for a dog and a blood for a blood. And you have to understand, we friends. Listen, you take one of us, we take 3 of y'all. And that's how you have to be. Now, I don't promote violence, but you don't. If when you stop promoting killing my people, I stop promoting getting your ass back. And then here's the thing: I heard the brother shit that about the federal, about the agent pulling somebody over watching them. Let me tell you something. If the agents don't got your damn name, that means you ain't doing your job as a true revolution. If the agent ain't following you, then you ain't doing your job. You get being a pretty boy. So guess what? Black power. If you getting followed by the FBI, guess what? Ask them for dinner. That's all. Just keep it moving. That's when you doing your damn work. But with those who ain't following your ass, guess what? You ain't doing shit. Shut up.
Brother, we appreciate that. How can we get in touch with you? What's your number?
The brothers, you can reach me at Bilal Muhammad, yahoo.com. I'm sorry, 305, Muhammad Bilal. Bilal Muhammad at 305 at yahoo.com. Or you can hit me on my phone with our answers. I don't care if you're a black man. I'm sure the FBI already got it. They've been trying. They don't call, but they listen and shit. But you can call me at 973-295-2089. That's 973-295-2089. And let me tell you if I go off. If you brothers out here looking for a good lawyer, and I'm telling you, I had a chance to work with Brother Malik Jabad. That brother is the only lawyer who don't sell us out. But we are scared of a revolution lawyer. We go get these Peckerwood lawyers and expect them to get you justice.
You need to get to a revolution lawyer. And this lawyer, you know, I'm telling you, Malik Dude the Bad is a strong lawyer. I'm telling you, brother, I don't send his brother work. He's for the people. Farrakhan, you know, he's one of Farrakhan's sons. And when I mean son, his spiritual son. And he was trained by Dr. Khalid Muhammad. So, like I'm saying, we need to stop all this side talking and all this back revolution talk. Listen, I want to see more of the minutes of defense. If you call yourself a damn minute defense, get your ass out there and defend your people or change your damn name.
Brother Mahmoud, thank you so much, man.
Yes, sir.
And stay prayed up, man. Safe travels, traveling graces, and the words of Great Duke Ellington, we love you badly, man. Keep on producing and pushing.
Yes, sir. Well, brother, it's always a pleasure talking to you, brother. If anything I can ever do for y'all, my black faith, and first of all, I want to thank Ferguson for allowing me to be a part of their struggle. You know, sometimes when you come to my home, you got to say thank you. And I would like to say that Ferguson treated me like I was home, but I almost didn't want to go home, man. I forgot where I live at, brother. They treated me, you know, and they hooked me up with some catfish, and it was, I did not want to go back to Jersey, but I just heard every way to delay my flight, you know. So I'm coming back down there this time, and, you know, I love y'all. I want to thank y'all for having me, and guess what? The same dog bites y'all is biting us too, but we're going to bite their asses right back twice. So Black Power, keep me in y'all prayers.
So Black Power. Thank you so much, Brother Muhammad. We got so many people on here, man, giving out this good vibes, and this is what I want for We All Be to be about, is to be a place where people can win and be themselves. I don't believe, the only thing I'm really anti is anti-censorship. I believe that, especially as black people, people of color, as melanated people, that we need a place or a space that we could, you know, express our true selves and be comfortable in expressing our true selves. And we don't have that in white supremacy. We really don't have that. And we got to create our space. And one thing we gave up was the right of self-determination when we don't control our education and economics. When you don't control your economics and education, you give up your right to self-determination. Okay, so without further ado, I think this is a great segue for Sister Chandra Williams. Been waiting patiently on the airwaves. How you doing today, sister?
I'm doing well, bless. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad you waited patient. I know you're a very, very patient person. I definitely want to get your point of view because that's actually your home area, so to speak. You're from Missouri. You went to school up there with me, so I just want to get your take on something you want to talk about. You know, go ahead.
Well, I thank you for being here, and thank you for doing this, and let me be here, and also just. Yeah, I'm from St. Louis. My family's from St. Louis, and I think of Michael Brown and his family. Sorry, a friend's family from St. Louis right now, but anyway, I'm not in town. But I think of Michael Brown and his family, and I think of so many other young people that we've lost, and I know there's been a big problem going on for a long time. Not just in St. Louis, in many places, and regardless of who is committing acts of violence, sometimes our children are dying. Our sons are dying, whatever color might be taking their life, and I'm just tired of that, and I have seen within our systematic structure where and why that fits in to the degree to which it's perpetuated. And economically, the image of a black boy as dangerous excuses our witnessing black boys and black men and people of color filling the working class and prison cheap labor pool, I'll call it. My point being, our children are dying over a mass distribution of an image of them that serves somebody else's purpose, that they see of themselves too. And but what a solution, as my brother the artist pointed out, and it was so appropriate for me that he pointed it out as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioning the black media and press, and you starting this show off with the rap, because artists such as yourselves and all those forms of art just mentioned actually have the power to recreate the images that are driving the actions of people in this society. Actors, painters, producers, radio show hosts, rappers. And not only do we have this power in nature to create reality, but in fact, in our own society, the United States government, since around 1920, made an official decision that their number one method of creating and maintaining social structure in the United States is through the arts. It's just something that we don't talk about. And so the media is used to create a certain type of social structure and maintain the social structure. But I always want to point back to the fact that we are the ones who are powering the whole thing, people. The images being made of our children, of our boys, that allows someone like George Zimmerman to walk up to Trayvon Martin and think that he knows who Trayvon Martin is, when really he's looking at an image in his head that has nothing to do with who Trayvon Martin really is. And he's acting on that image. And then when our country okays that, they're reinforcing again this image, and we all see it. As if our boys don't matter, as people are saying, and we all do matter. And so, but there's an economic reason for that, and it's the same as the economic reason was when slavery was going on, of then perpetuating a negative image of us. It makes people okay with it. If we're seen as 3/5 of human, as savage, and this and that, then when we're being enslaved in fields, people don't question it. When a black boy is seen as dangerous, oh yeah, he probably was provoking somebody or anything like that. When a black boy is seen as dangerous, when he feels over disproportionately the prisons, which are the present legal incarnation of slavery, when he feels those, people don't ask questions. Yeah, he's scary. He's a criminal. That's why there's so many black boys in prison, duh. It's just the modern form of slavery. And economically, not metaphorically. And the chosen way to maintain this for our people has been our art form.
Mm-hmm.
In the form of our music and the images and the way we represent ourselves in in mainstream media, what we're hired to play. And we're told that this is what people want. But the actuality of the marketing industry is that they sell what they want to sell, and they make it popular. And that's just the way that works, and it does become popular. But underneath that, we are the ones who are putting our bodies in these places. We're the ones who, we are the owners of rap. We're the owners of our music. We're the owners of what acting we do and producing we do. But sometimes not knowing, we may sell it and do with it what's good for somebody else and not us.
Yeah.
So if we recognize that power, we can do something different. And that's kind of where I'm coming from. Basically, in society there's inequality. But in nature, everyone is equally powerful. We are a part of this society, but we are also part of nature. We don't have to wait for this society to agree with us and tell us that we're right and stop treating us bad. We can use our powers as human beings and as part of nature to create our own reality. And one of the most powerful ways to do that for a human population is through the arts, dancing, music, creating. And it may sound funny, in a time where we're fighting in the streets, but actually that's one way to create real transformation. And we see the proof of that in the fact that the United States, as I said, has chosen the arts through film, media, school, etc., to maintain the structure of society, because art has that power. But we are the artists, and that's why, I was thankful for, again, the artist asking that question, what's the solution? You're the solution.
Thank you, Sister Cheddar, for that. I want you to stay on the line, because I think what you just said, I was thinking about an interview I saw recently of Sun Ra. This year is the centennial celebration of his arrival to this plane. Sun Ra was a jazz mystic and a music revolutionary. I call him the Marcus Garvey of black music, of jazz anyway. And, he had a band he put together for about 40 or 50 years that he ran himself. And he was one of the first people to use synthesizers in music. And he's the spiritual muse for people like Parliament, Funkadelic, Prince, Outkast, Erykah Badu, Sly and the Family Stone. He was doing stuff in the 40s and 50s that cats were just starting to do in the late 60s and 70s. So he was way ahead of the curve. But he did an interview in Detroit back in 1981. I'm going to post it on my social media outlets. But he talked about this issue about creating your own narrative, creating your own reality. Space is the place, as he used to say, because he said he was from Saturn. And there's a story about him when he had a heart attack. He went to a hospital in Philadelphia, and the white doctors kept on asking him, where is he from? He said he was from Saturn. And the white doctors decided he was being really difficult. And so they asked the chief surgeon in residence or director at the time, did you know this guy? He said, yeah, I know he is. He's Sun Ra. They said, where is he from? He's from Saturn. So he got this medical dude who's a very powerful dude in that hospital to buy into the fact that he was from Saturn. He forced them to believe his reality, his narrative, and that's power. But he was talking about in that interview in Detroit, I think even if you don't like Sun Ra music or never heard of him, do yourself a favor and spend 30 minutes listening to him talk about why black folks are having the problems they have in this system of white supremacy. And he said something that was very profound. I'm going to paraphrase what he said. He said that freedom is getting black folks killed. You're fighting for freedom in a system that won't allow you to be free. You need discipline to create stuff. You need discipline to build civilization and to build successful bands and to have successful businesses. Discipline can get you places where freedom cannot get you. And I thought that was really deep, because people say, well, we about freedom fighting. We need to learn some discipline. Like Brother Bilal said, you got folks doing this and that, but you got an army with no leadership. The old folks that fail because they're too afraid or they just don't know. So the thing about it is, you got to be the leaders that you want. You got to be the people that you're looking for. You got to be that one. You can't be afraid to step out there and create your own reality, because they're killing you anyway. And you dying a slow spiritual death when you don't really be who you're supposed to be. If you're not true to yourself, who can you be really true or committed to? To thy own self be true. And if you be true to yourself, you can actually make an authentic contribution to this fake-ass world. You can actually make something that's very lasting. And that was Sun Ra did for me, because it saved my life. But I'm going to post that Sun Ra Detroit interview, because the guy is so deep. I mean, he just went out there
And I was blessed to meet some of his band members this past October. And he was such a phenomenal philosopher. Because this guy would also play in front of the Great Pyramids, and also used to have like sold out or standing room only lectures at Berkeley. This is back in the 70s. I mean, this guy was out there. He was brilliant. And he's somebody that black folks should know about and learn about and do some of the things he was talking about. So go ahead, I'm sorry.
Oh, no. That's so powerful. And you said he said he was talking about creating reality, and you were talking about creating reality. And maybe it just comes from being around artists or the history of art that for thousands of years been known about the psychological effect of art is two things. One is it reflects what artists are talking about. It reflects reality. Any kind of art, media, whatever. The other, though, and it's been known historically for a long time among many cultures, that art also creates reality. The poetry, the stories, the songs, the dances that a people practice on a regular basis, that's how reality is created. And so you're talking about Sun Ra, pointing out, hey, we can create this reality as artists, and very important. And just one thing I'd add on that about a general approach, I love this saying, maybe by maybe Krishnamurti, but the saying is, do not confuse creating what we want with destroying what we don't want.
I hear that. That's definitely. So I want to add. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. That's it.
Are you sure? Okay, yeah, but I don't. Then you kind of quiet over there. You got. Hold on a minute. Yeah, Daniel, you got anything to add to this since you being an artist? I think he's.
Are you talking to me?
Oh, I'm talking about Daniel. I guess his phone dropped. Okay, so I'm gonna go to it's another caller, but I got you unmuted, so we're gonna definitely talk. Got area code 845. Welcome to We All Be.
I didn't even take him out of my coat.
Hello?
I didn't even take him out of my coat, man. I went to
Hello?
I realized I ain't even. Hello?
Hello, you there?
Hello?
Yes, sir. Are you there? Welcome to We All Be. How you doing?
I'm doing fine, sir. My name is Ishmael Shabazz, chairman of Black Panthers for Justice.
Yes, sir. I'm just talk to you. I'm good, man. It's good for you. Thanks for calling in.
Yes, sir. Okay. Say that again?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Okay. Just want to elaborate what the sister was saying about the arts. I work with the youth for about 20 years. And what I notice is that the negative music has a very influence on our children now. The TV, the games. And we have to be mindset is that our children are influenced by this. What we have to do, man, is to start, as a people, making sure that we try to stop that. Under white supremacy, this is what they use to confuse us. You hear me, son?
Yes, sir. I'm hear you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm at work, so this, find me. I got noise around me. But, like Brother Bilal said, is that we shouldn't have done. See, Black Panthers for Justice I'm an original Panther from the 60s.
Yes, sir.
And we created Black Panther for Justice because what's happening now is that our kids are influenced by the music and the TV, and there's a lot of violence. There's a lot of domestic violence in the communities. So we have programs dealing with that. I do anger management in my city. I live in Kingston, New York. I do anger management program that we have that change our kids' mindset. We have 3 concepts. Man means mind. Words make people, and crime is a moral issue. And what we mean by that is man means mind is that Allah, God, created us to as we're superior than all this other creation. What makes us superior is our mental thinking ability. Well, we tend to act more like animals than animals because we're not thinking. We're just reactionary. And that is a problem. And because of that, words make people, like I was saying, music, TV, everything is negative. So we just react to the things that we see every day, violence. You know, we get mad and instead of thinking, we react violently. And the reason why that is because there's no morality in the world today. Crime, makes see there's no reality. Mm-hmm. People, man, tend to stop thinking and just react. And we created an organization, man, to deal with these situations, to advocate in the court system, the school system, parole, probation, anything, man, that we can help our children when they get in trouble to change their mindset. We got to get them to start thinking. We got to get them, man, to start being men, to be women. Because we're programmed to react the way they want. Because prison is a business. It's a $1 billion industry. I call it modern day slavery. If anybody read the book by Michelle Alexander,
right.
Well, she speaks about that. But Angela Davis spoke about that. The industrial complex. And this is what's happening. But if you look at the 13th Amendment, it says slavery and servitude is abolished, except when you commit a crime. So these drug laws, they made sure these drug laws, man, are giving up time. They put the drugs out there in our community, and our kids sell it, and that's what's happening. They're getting a lot of time because of that. Mm-hmm. We have to start educating our youth. We have to take the time. What's happening is that we as adults just gave up on our kids. And they have no guidance. What's guiding them is these rappers. What's guiding is these actresses. And they're getting paid to do what they do. I grew up in the era of the 70s, 60s, and some of the 80s, it was positive music. Well, they turned all that around because they want our kids to go to prison. We have more young men and women in prison on parole or probation than we had during the whole time of slavery. That's designed that way. And until we start working together and look at the bigger picture, like Brother Bilal, we sent him down there to St. Louis to see what's going on. We have to start taking time and educating our youth. We have to start, every organization that we have to start, sitting at the table. Forget about who's the boss. Mm-hmm. Our kids are dying, men and women. So we have to just get a plan, man, to how we're going to do this. One plan that all organizations deal with. And another we have to understand, too, is that, if anybody knew about the original Panthers, well, they got with the Freedom Party, a bunch of white folks. They fight for the same thing that we do because they know that if it continues, they're going to go after their kids. So we have to stop looking at color and looking at the problem. See, one thing, guns don't kill, people do. But they get people to believe is that it's the guns. It's the guns. They have these community gun buybacks. Well, people look at it, okay, get the guns off the street, crime will go down. That's just a force. They just want to disarm the community because if the community is disarmed, they can't defend themselves. And this is what's happening. We want our young kids that don't have any problems with the legal system to get armed legally, get trained legally, how to defend your community, whether it be male or female. We need to start teaching our young babies at 9, 10, that's what white folks do, to defend themselves, to defend their homes. No, but we don't do that. We let the system confuse them and think, well, they Big Willie or they a gangster because they got a gun. And they use it against each other. Mm-hmm. I talk to the youth all the time and ask them, what is a gangster? Because as far as I know, I'm 60 years old, a gangster is not afraid of nobody, including the police. Why is it that you'll shoot your brother but drop the gun and run when the police come. Something's wrong with that, but that's designed that way, and it's our duty and our obligation to teach our children. Whether whatever organization you're about, we have to do that. Because until we do that, we have this problem, and we're going to have the problem continuously. You know, it's the same. I look at the media, you know, they're killing our young males, but you got to look back throughout history, and the two, they killed them. Little Bobby Hunting, they murdered. Right. You know, I mean, history shows that they don't give a fuck about us, period. Because they realize we don't care about each other. How can we say, man, stop police brutality when you have brutality in our communities? How can you expect them to care about our children if we don't? So we have to come together and get a plan. You know, I don't care if you, whatever organization that you're from, we want to work with anybody and anybody. And where I live, man, black people don't rally. But all the white folks, man, rally with me. They know I'm a Panther. They call me and say, Shabazz, we want to rally, man. We need your help. And I'm going to help them. I'm going to look because it's in my best interest to save our children. And they know this. And I'm trying to get with the churches because they're behind every organization throughout history. Churches was always involved. Now they're not. When the state started giving the churches money, the churches don't want to deal with certain issues.
So the FBI
not
money.
Until it's somebody in their church that gets shot. And
that's the FBI money. Yeah, state-based initiative, FBI. That was stand for FBI money. It's like COINTELPRO right in the church.
Yeah. And as long as they get money, I mean, I've talked to pastors. They tell me I'm a troublemaker. And I said, well, you know, so was Prophet Jesus.
I'm glad you said he
like this. You know, so you worship Jesus and understand what he did. Well, why you don't understand what I do? You know, and that's because the police, the mayors, all the politicians tell them, stay away from Shabazz. He's a troublemaker.
But Jesus was misunderstood too, though. Jesus, he wasn't accepted at the temple. They didn't accept Jesus at the temple. He was an outcast by the land of Caesar. By Caesar's law, he was an outcast. He was nobody. His own people rejected him.
Yes.
Like Dr. King was rejected by black ministers. I mean, I remember Reverend Wright talked about how black ministers in Chicago celebrated when Dr. King got shot in Memphis, and how they tried to get his father to bring him from Montgomery to take him back to Ebenezer through the Montgomery bus boycott. But his father said years later he was glad that his son was his own man. He refused to go back to Atlanta. Okay, he knew he had a higher purpose and calling. But I want to say, like, I'm glad, because we got to wrap it up. I'm glad Chairman Shabazz, he touched upon all these things. But I think our problem as black folks is the fact is this, is that we or they hold us to a higher standard than they hold themselves, meaning white people and white supremacists. They hold us to an unbelievable higher standard, because when I saw Rudy Giuliani on TV the day after the verdict, he was talking about how black-on-black crime is higher in New York City, that most of the black folks kill each other. But hell, you got a system that's foundation is white supremacy, racism, that is taught to devalue black life from day one since its inception. So black life has no value to either white people unless you're exploiting it, or to black people. You're not anything.
Black people.
Their dogs are more valuable than you in this system, and that's the problem. Because the people, we the largest consumers in America, and the people that buy the most shit in the system has the most damn self-hate. That's all by design.
Yes.
So you're making the white supremacists rich. The more you hate yourself, the more you doubt yourself, the more power you give away to them, the more they get rich and wealthy off of you. Because money is not wealth. Owning your institutions, owning having a community. Like Williamsburg, you'll never see NYPD come in Williamsburg and shoot down a Jewish kid and get away with it.
That's right.
You'll never see that happen to a community that own their institutions, that run their own institutions, they control their economics and education. Until we get to that point, we always going to have hell from the man. And we need to get the hell out of here and have our own plan and have our own system. And that's really the only answer. You need to separate from the people that give you the most hell. You can the devil cannot give you mercy. So why stop begging the devil for mercy? The devil cannot give you mercy.
That's right. That 100%, sir. 100%. And we've been brainwashed. We've been led to believe the lie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the young females now, you know, they want to identify with the white folks, man. The color of their hair, all different colors, man, wearing these old crazy. Instead of being the queens and kings that we are, we fed into that belief that we got to be like them. Right. And that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I'm one man in my hometown, and my brothers pointed out to me, because I go in the courts a lot, and the brother said, you know, it was a murder charge, and it was about 10 pastors in there. The judge at the recess came down the steps, and he said, how you doing, Mr. Shabazz? And my partner looked around and said, yo, bro, out of all these people, he spoke to you. I'm not a sellout. And they know that.
Yes, sir.
What they're afraid of is that I'm going to educate my people. I demand respect. I don't care if they like me, but I make them respect me because of who I am, because I'm an outspoken individual, you know, and the reason why is because one of the pastors did something, man, that he wasn't supposed to. I spoke against him.
Yes, sir.
And that was their boy. That was their boy. So they know if I speak against my own, I'm going to come after them just as hard. And they understand that, you know, and I'm trying to get my people, and one of the pastors was my partner for 28 years hustling. And I asked him, his partner's doing the wrong. You was 100% behind me. What happened? You fell into this belief that they love us, that, you know, that you got soft. You became a pastor and got soft, brother, because the fight's not in you. But if something happens to your child, you're going to feel the same way that I do. I fight for everybody's child because that's why Allah, man, created me. I'm a warrior, and I'm going to die a warrior. My family understands is that I don't get paid for it. I don't get paid to sit in the courts and go to talk to parole and judges and all that, but it's my obligation because Allah has changed me to be an upright brother. I've been righteous man for 25 years, married 21. And I love it. I've never been faithful to nobody. But I found a queen. She stands by me 100%. She guides me when I need it. And that's all we need. We need each other. We need to sit down and talk to each other. The game plan of how we're going to fix this. We can't depend on no one else to fix something that we have to fix. And I tell people, man, they've been killing black people for years.
Right.
For years. You know, and we allowed it. We have to put a stop to it. If we don't care about our kids, then what makes you think, man, white supremacy does?
All right, Terrence, man. I want to thank you for that. And what would be the best way to get? Go ahead. I'm sorry, I mean, wrapping it up. We're kind of running a little bit overtime, but what would be the best way for people to get in touch with you to support what you're doing?
All right, I'm on Facebook, Ismail Shabazz. My phone number is area code 845-616-4305. My email address is Baitul, BAITUL, the number 1, at AOL.com. I will send information that I speak about because I have an outline of my programs. Real simple.
Yes, sir.
It's real simple. It's about loving each other. You know, and my wife said, I done this with my family years ago. My wife said, hon, what about the rest of the people? So I said, boo, you're right. So I put anybody that wants to learn or get some training to do what I do, I train them because it's for a bigger cause.
Yes, sir.
I care about your child just as much as I care about mine. And David said, they come for me in the morning, they're coming for me at night. And people need to understand that. I don't have any fear. I've been beat up by the police, set up and all that. I have no fear because I have no felonies. And me being out there as long as I have been, and I like law. I went to school to be a lawyer, so I know law. But he made sure it didn't happen because he knew what I should be doing, and this is what I'm doing. I please Allah, period, God. And in doing that, I'm going to do, man, what he wants me to do for my people. And when I say my people, all oppressed people. I don't care if you polka dot. If you're oppressed, I'm going to help you.
Well, Chairman Shabazz, I want to thank you for your work, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, brother. You know, my joy is when I work with a kid. Like I'm working now, and I went to another house that I seen a young man that 10 years ago, man, I was his counselor, and he remembered me, and he thanked me, man, because now he's got a job, a family, and he was telling the other staff, man, this used to be my counselor 20 years ago, and
wow.
It broke my heart because this is what I'm all about. I want to see the next man or woman, man, pull their pants up, man, and get their lives together. And I don't get a thank you all the time, but just seeing what I have, you know, being an influence and people changing, that's all I need. I don't ask for nothing else because at the end, I'm going to get the rewards from Allah. You know, and he has it. I got a family. I have 18 grandkids, 7 kids, and a beautiful wife. And I'm happy every day. Things don't go perfect. But as long as Allah wakes me up and I can fight the fight, man, he wants me to fight, alhamdulillah, that's what I'm going to do. And I appreciate, man, you having this on. Anytime, and anybody that's listening, man, has any questions or want any information about anything, call me, because that's what I'm all about. Brother A.L.L, man, we're fortunate enough to hook up with him that he can travel, because I do security and bodyguarding as well.
Right.
Full pistol permit. So it's not impossible. It's that if you have a desire to do something, then only you can stop you.
That's right. That's so true.
And it hasn't been easy for me. But you know something? My goal is to do what I'm doing, and that's what I'm doing. And can't nobody stop me.
Well, I want to thank you for Well, first of all, I want to thank you, man. The words are great together, and we love you, man, Lee, and keep on producing and pushing, because in the end, man can give you awards, but God will give you the reward. You will get the reward from God, the ultimate reward, from Allah. Thank you so much, Brother Shabazz. And we're going to take one more caller. No problem. Thank you. We'll take one more caller. I think I know what she is, and we'll be wrapping it up very soon. Sister Sabrina, how you doing? Thanks for calling in.
I'm doing blessed. How about you?
I'm good. I'm warm now. I'm good. Go ahead.
I just want to say this. Darren Muhammad has been speaking about this for months before. And even before the Michael Brown situation happened, even before the Ed Garner. And actually, no, I take that back, since the Michael Brown situation happened. But specifically, he said, you know, with the boycott, the one thing is good is that we got the world's attention first internationally, because the U.S. media didn't want to cover it. Now they have to cover it. Now, the boycott Black Friday. And he says, you know, you have to do much further than that. And what he had suggested before is that we boycott Bank of America, those that got money in Bank of America, yank it out, Monsanto and Anheuser-Busch products, which come out of Missouri.
Right.
That takes it much than that window of, you know, doing the shop till you drop window and that. What also came out Friday was the UN Committee for the Prevention of Torture, where they came out with a report. I don't know if you saw that, where it said specifically that the U.S. needed to crack down on police brutality, which reminds me of what Bakre Ndiaye said in 1997, is that the U.S. has got to create another entity besides the Department of Justice to handle police brutality. This is what we've got to advocate for. Matter of fact, on I think Monday, Tuesday, it was Tuesday. I called into the White House, and I said that on the comment line, and the lady there answered. She took it. She says, I'm going to note that, but she suggested that I go electronically and put that on whitehouse.gov, and that's what I suggest people to do the same thing, too. We don't get anything until we demand it. And this is something that we can demand and put in place so that hopefully there will not be another case and or wait that we can advocate to demand to put in place. And we cannot say that Obama cannot put it in place because he has executive order power. So he can create other entities to put in place. This is something that we have got to demand. And I hope everybody take to action what I just said.
Well, thank you, Sister Sabrina. You always bring so much, I say, cognitive surplus. You got so much going on. You're very informed, so knowledgeable,
and a beautiful human being I had a chance to meet not too long ago on my travels in Maryland. So it was a blessing to meet you. I'm glad you're out there working on behalf of the people on the front line in the field.
Well, I give thanks so much, and we still continue with finding out the answers and justice about Malcolm Shabazz, the grandson of Malcolm X.
Exactly.
And then 2015, everybody in D.C., Why for Marvin Gaye. It's 2 albums that he had, Inner City Blues and What's Going On, bringing those issues forth, and to demand a commemorative stamp be put in place for him.
I'm just going to talk about that on my show very soon. I'm glad you brought that up. Hopefully I get in touch with the organizer of that, and also Marvin Gaye's sister. I'm going to try to get in touch with them, and hopefully have you on the show as well to talk about all that stuff with Marvin Gaye.
Okay, but more importantly, have them on there. They got a lot more to say about that, and Carla, the head of it, of the campaign, of what she's trying to do and bring issues on. So please, let that happen.
No problem. Thank you so much, Sister Sabrina, for everything. And, she touched on some very...
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a blessing. Keep it. We love you madly. And Sister Sabrina touched on some very important things about the human rights UN, talking about, in the United States, you need to tighten up your ship. And people say, well, why the black president? Well, you got to understand that next year will also be the 30th anniversary of Move bombing, of the bombing of Move in Philadelphia, John Africa and his people. That people always talk about the Branch Davidians and David Koresh. You actually had the first black mayor of Philadelphia, Wilson Goode, who okayed the bombing of a neighborhood full of black people. Black men, women, and children were killed in Philadelphia. That's probably the second time that a neighborhood or community was bombed within the United States. Can you remember the first time? It was back in 1921 during the Tulsa, Oklahoma riots, where they actually had planes going up and bombing Black Wall Street. So black life, once again, has no value to white supremacists unless they are exploiting, manipulating, and controlling the people's lives. Black lives do matter outside of white supremacy. They really do. And your life should matter to you because the number one law of nature is self-preservation. And also we are coming upon December 2nd will mark the 155th anniversary of the crucifixion or lynching or hanging of John Brown. John Brown was a white man from the North who fought with those Missouri crackers or misery crackers during Bleeding Kansas back in the late 1850s. He was the man who led the raid on Harper's Ferry with about 20-plus John Brown raiders. A handful were black. Matter of fact, Dangerfield Newby was probably the inspiration for the Django character in Django Unchained, because on his person, after he was dead, was a letter discovered from his wife who was in slavery, urging him to come rescue her from being sold off Master's plantation. So Dangerfield Newby, a black raider with John Brown, who was probably the inspiration behind Django. But John Brown was an interesting white man. Okay, he knew this nation was founded on evil, intent, and will. And he was willing not only to sacrifice himself, but also the lives of his sons. He lost several sons. He lost 2 sons at Harper's Ferry. He lost some in Bleeding Kansas. So this man not only put himself on the line for what he was willing to believe in, but also he put the lives of his family on the line as well. So we should think about that type of stuff. And also with Darren Wilson, the woman who raised all that money going on social media. Now, this is very interesting because she's anonymous right now, not the hacker group, but she don't want her name out there, but she actually used social media to help raise about $1 million for Darren Wilson legal fees. And she is interesting because her grandfather was a St. Louis County cop, but her father was killed by the police when she was 17 back in 1995. And she said something to the effect, you can look up online, her stuff is online, but she said something to the effect that at first she thought Darren Wilson was a crazy cop gone rogue or something like that. And then she said she talked to other police. And they said, no, he was responding to a robbery of cigarillos or something like that. They said, oh, he deserved what he got. She didn't say it like that, but basically she said, oh, he must have deserved what he got. And my problem is black folks seem like we always deserve what we get when we are the victims of white supremacy. And it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have black folks questioning, well, what did he or she do wrong
to deserve such treatment. I had a friend, I'm not going to ever forget this. Like this happened like yesterday. I have a friend. She's very successful. She's a black Republican. Nothing wrong with being a Republican or being black at that. She has a 6-figure job at this pharmaceutical company. She's a pharmaceutical sales rep. She has a Corvette, a BMW. She got a nice home out in the Southwest. And I remember we had a conversation on the phone. She used to joke about me being so active in civil rights and human rights and being an artivist. Thought that was funny. And a week after that, she was pulled over by a cop near her house. And what happened was that the cop, along with 3 of his buddies, began to assault her. They pulled her out of her BMW and were beating her up on a parking lot at Burger King near her home. Now, this is interesting because here's this woman who makes 6 figures a year, got a great educational background, own her home, got nice cars, and she's being beaten up by 4 cops in front of a Burger King near her home. Come to find out that the cop was known for harassing black motorists. So she was just the latest victim. So who kept this cop on for all this time harassing black motorists? I mean, her mom was well-connected, or is well-connected, is a rocket scientist, of all things, or was very active in her branch of the NAACP, was even the president. So if this can happen to her, then what can happen to any one of us? It's like what Haile Selassie said at the League of Nations back in the 1930s when Ethiopia was invaded by Italy. He said something to the effect, today us, tomorrow you. So today Mike Brown, tomorrow who? And we already know since the week since Mike Brown been dead that several black boys have been killed by the pork state, by the police state apparatus, with a sitting black president. And once again, I must remind you that when Philadelphia bombed moved back in 1985, they had their first black mayor, Wilson Good. Look it up. So till next time, family, I want to thank everybody for being so committed and faithful, for tuning in, for sharing their points of views on today's show. I will try to do some more shows this week and the week thereafter to really end the year off in a very appropriate way. It's so important that we have our own media outlet because when we start doing for self and thinking for self, we actually can free ourselves. So with that, family, we love you all madly. Keep producing and pushing. And next time, love.